In the previous example, we used named ranges for a fill down so that we didn't get that effect of, as we fill down, one of the variables increasing. There is another way to do that. Um, for example, let's say we had this exact situation where I wanted to calculate the tax for each one of these cells. I'd always like the tax to reference cell H5, which means that when I copy this formula into this cell, I don't want it to jump down to H6. And again, just as a refresher of what I mean by that, if I go equals E6 times, now it's going to tax because I've given that a name, but if I call it H6 instead, or H5 instead, sorry, you can see it's grabbing that correct cell. That calculation works fine, but when I drag my little square down to fill downwards, none of the other calculations work because this one is E6 times H5, but this one is C7 times D7. What's happening is it's actually copying, or it's increasing the letter in both references as it goes down. Now that's helpful most of the time if everything's sitting in a line, like in these calculations here. You actually want that to happen because you want this times this to be this, you want this times this to be this. You don't want that to be always going back to this 1 and this 1.25, otherwise there's no point in using a fill down. The good news is there is an easy way to do this. If you don't want a single letter to increase as I fill down, so I don't want this H, or sorry, I don't want this 5 to move down to a 6, a 7, and an 8, you can tell Excel that by simply putting a $ in front of it. So if I always want this to be in row 5, which in this case I do, I put a $ there, and then when I fill, it won't change that to a 6, a 7, an 8, and a 9. Likewise, if I was filling to the side and I didn't want the H to increase to I, J, K, L, M, I'd put a $ there. In this situation, it doesn't matter because I'm doing a fill down. So I'll press enter, and now what'll happen if I do grab that little box there, I can drag it down, and this time, although the E6 here does increase to E7, E8, E9, the H $5, the $ keeps that 5 always being a 5.